What's up? Welcome to Occult Warehouse. It's Spencer McNett. I'm kind of occult right now because I'm hiding beneath these trees so nobody hears me talking about anything interesting. I actually wanted to get into the topic of psychological projection and especially how it relates to YouTube comments and people's opinions on different matters and different people in the public eye. So, one thing that really struck me because I was just looking at some interviews of Chris Brown, actually, because I'm a fan of Chris Brown's music, and so in doing that, I there would be a lot of comments of people just saying like, this guy's a self-entitled prick. This guy is self-aggrandizing. He's always seeking attention, etc., etc. And my thought when I see something like that is just always like, well, what are you doing by trying to post this comment? What are you doing by trying to put your voice out there on YouTube, Of course, me right now, from a certain perspective, I'm seeking attention if I'm posting a video with me vlogging about, a topic on YouTube. If you're commenting on it, you're seeking attention in a downstream way. If obviously when we attempt to communicate with the wider world and we even attempt to communicate with each other, we're seeking attention. That's why we find it cute when dogs will beg for food in like a creative way, or when they will try to claw at your leg or something to get you to play with the ball with them or something. We find that cute because we recognize that in ourselves. We understand that we all try to seek attention in certain ways, and we all, like Alan Watts said, have that element of irreducible rascality. What people can't handle sometimes is seeing that type of stuff within themselves, or seeing anything not sort of proper British, waspy within themselves. And so they always try to act like they're, above such things. And so, if they see somebody like Chris Brown or Justin Bieber or somebody like that, they're going to have a strong reaction to that, because the performer character within themselves, they've suppressed it so hard because when they were young, their parents and other people and their grandparents and whomever said to them, no, you may not perform. You're not allowed to perform. That's attention seeking. That's selfish. That is, that's narcissistic and megalomaniacal. So do not perform. And so they shove that little element of themselves deep down into their psyche, and they don't allow themselves to ever access that. And so when that happens, it spills out in odd ways, like people saying, oh, this person's trying to seek attention, this person's trying to be somebody, this person's thinks it's all about them, this person's just so arrogant, etc. And so when people do that, I see it as a expression of they disowned that attention-getting element within themselves. And so when they see somebody else doing it and exercising that element of themselves in a guilt-free manner, it triggers them and it pisses them off, and they feel like, so I'm not allowed to do this, but this person is? That's how they end up feeling, and that's how, I guess you could say, haters are born. And so why am I dropping this on Occult Warehouse? I'm dropping this here because this is a low-key, hidden part of psychology that nobody admits. And so I always think it's interesting to bring this stuff to the surface. Not that I think we should be 1,000% self-aware constantly, but continually examining this stuff and not living life. But I just think that it's interesting to drag it up once in a while and just confront it and be like, do I do this? Do you do this? We all do this, guaranteed. I remember there were certain singers and entertainers in the past who I would just get super triggered by, and I'd be like, what is wrong with them? Like, they're just evil, they have no conscience, etc. And then after like a month of sort of like hating them, I would begin to love them. But then I realized, okay, it's because I'm not admitting to certain things that I want in life. I'm not admitting to certain parts of myself that are true and that are valid because of some misplaced type of morality that says like you can't stand out, you can't be attractive, you can't you can't garner attention, etc. And so by doing that, I had seen external examples of that, and I was like, no, that's what's wrong. No, they're just so arrogant. They have no conscience, etc. But it was like I wanted them to have a conscience about standing out and getting attention. That's what I wanted them to feel sorry for and feel guilty about, because I wanted them to feel like I did, because I felt like my worldview was correct, and I felt committed to what I was doing. But I've just tried to come at things with a more open mind now, and realize that like if you're jealous of somebody, that person's jealous of people too. You know, there's no shame in the emotion of jealousy. And not saying that every single person who has something negative to say about somebody else is motivated by jealousy, but that's just like the most shadow-fied emotion that nobody allows themselves to have or is allowed to admit that they have. You know, people will be like, well, you're jealous, and then like a person will get so mad, jealous? Why would I be jealous of that prick? You know, and so it's a very, very, that's a very touchy emotion that most people are very like afraid to admit that they have, because pretty much every single person carries on portraying this thing of like, I have zero jealousy, I've never been jealous, I just don't understand it, but I just hate Chris Brown so much, So it's sort of a weird thing. The wind is taking over here, but yeah, see, but I think I'll leave it at that. I think I could circle back and try to triangulate on that point 1,000 different ways, but there's no point. I've already made the point. So subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if there's any topics that you want me to do a video on, and I'll consider that. Or if there's any elements of this video that you want me to explain further, and maybe we can go into a part 2. Thank you very much.